Hi, I'm Jesse Douglas, and this is Lindsay Smith. We're with EW Motion Therapy, and in conjunction with Dr. David Adkison, we have put together the top 10 exercises for shoulder health that you can be doing in the comfort of your own home. Now, it should be said that these exercises should be performed 100% pain-free. Now, there is some discomfort associated with strength training and stretching, but we don't want to feel pain in your joints or connective tissues while you're performing these exercises. So if you do feel pain, please stop and consult your healthcare professional. Thank you. This exercise is a mobility exercise for the shoulder. We're trying to improve your shoulder's internal rotation. It's called the doorknob stretch. You're going to grab a doorknob with the involved hand. Now we're going to turn in the opposite direction of that hand. We're going to turn away from that hand, and as you do, that arm is going to rotate, or the shoulder is internally rotating. We want to make sure that we're not moving into pain. So you're only going to turn as far as you can comfortably turn until you feel a little bit of stretch. You're going to hold it for 3 to 5 seconds and then rotate back out of it. And you're going to repeat that for 10 repetitions. This exercise is called the wall stretch. The wall stretch improves your shoulder's external rotation and overhead range of motion. To do the wall stretch, you need a wall and a wooden dowel or a broomstick. Now we're going to hold the broomstick with an underhand grip and turn and face the wall. Now, standing about a foot back from the wall, we're going to bring the elbows up high and place them on the wall. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take in a breath, and then on the exhale is you're going to sit back a little bit and drop the head and the chest down through the arms. And as you do that, we're going to bend the elbows. Now we should feel a little pressure in the upper back and a little stretch in the underarm and triceps. You're going to hold at the bottom for about 3 to 5 seconds for the duration of your exhale, and then take in a breath, come up out of it, and then repeat. Again, we're holding for 3 to 5 seconds for 10 repetitions. This shoulder mobility exercise is called a posterior capsule stretch. We're stretching the back of the shoulder. To do this exercise, you're going to take one hand, you're going to cross it across the chest at shoulder height. We're going to take the opposite hand and grab a hold of that elbow and then pull gently across. You're going to hold this stretch for 3 to 5 seconds and then relax. Now, if you feel a little pinchy in the front of your shoulder while you're doing this exercise, you can take a towel and you can roll it up and you can put it in the shoulder that you're stretching as you cross it over, and that's going to create a little space in the joint, and it might feel a little better in the front of the shoulder, and you'll get the stretch in the back. And again, we're going to hold this for 3 to 5 seconds, and we're going to do it 10 times. This shoulder mobility exercise is called a shoulder extension stretch. We're going to be opening up the chest and lengthening the biceps. For this exercise, you're going to need a broomstick or a wooden dowel. You're going to hold the wooden dowel down low behind you with an underhand grip, with your hands a little wider than shoulder width. Standing posture, we've got the feet shoulder width apart, toes straight ahead. The pelvis is level, the ribs are stacked on top of the pelvis, and the shoulders are down out of the ears. The head is in line with the rest of the spine. It's not going to shoot forward. We're going to pull apart on the stick like you're trying to stretch it straight out to the side, and you'll feel those muscles in the upper back activate. From there, we're going to lift the hands back away from the body, and we're going to feel a stretch through the chest, through the biceps. We're trying not to flare the ribs up as we take the arms back. We're going to hold for 3 to 5 seconds here, exhaling on the exertion, and then Breathe in as you relax. We're gonna repeat this 10 times. This exercise is called a low row. The low row is great for strengthening the upper back and the arms and improving your posture, which is gonna help your shoulders in the long run. I'm gonna show you a couple of different ways to do the low row. This first, we're gonna use resistance bands. Now, when we're using resistance bands, you wanna make sure that you've got a secure anchor, okay? Don't put this around a stair banister or anything like that that could possibly come loose and come back and hit you. You also don't want your band to be able to slip off of whatever you're using. So you've got a sturdy anchor for your band, and you've got the band hooked up around chest height. We've got Lindsay standing here. She's got her feet shoulder width apart, toes straight ahead. The knees are bent. The pelvis is gonna be level. We've got the rib cage stacked on top of the pelvis and the abs are tight. She's got her shoulders down and back out of the ears, and then her head is in line with her spine. So there's a straight vertical line from the hip, shoulder to the ear. You're gonna pull back on the band. You're gonna pull the elbows straight back. The hands come to about rib cage level. We're squeezing the shoulder blades together, and we're gonna hold for about a 3 count before we return slowly. Reach forward and then pull back and repeat. You want to exhale as you pull back, inhale as you return. We're going to repeat this for about 20 repetitions and do 2 to 4 sets. The next way I'm going to teach you to do a low row is with a dumbbell and a bench. All right, we've got Lindsay here, and she's going to put one knee on the bench, and then she's going to grab the dumbbell with the opposite side hand of the knee that's on the bench. She's gonna take the free hand and put it on the bench out in front. All right, now this back leg, we've got the foot directly beneath the hip. We've got a straight line from the hip to the shoulder to the ear, so the head's not hanging down, okay? Now the post arm is gonna be nice and strong. You're pushing through the bench with the post arm, and you're keeping that shoulder down out of the ear. We're gonna take the hand with the dumbbell and let it hang off to the side of the bench, and we're not gonna let this shoulder drop down really low. We're gonna try to hold it up level with the opposite shoulder. Now, Lindsay's gonna draw this elbow straight back towards the ceiling and squeeze these muscles in the upper back. She's gonna hold for about 3 seconds and then lower back down slowly. Good, and then she can repeat for 10 to 20 reps, and we're gonna repeat for 2 to 4 sets. The next exercise I'm going to teach you is the chest press. The chest press is a great exercise to build up the muscles of the chest and the shoulders, and also create stability and strength in the shoulders. I've got Lindsay here. She's gonna be facing away from the bands this time. She's got one handle in each hand. The feet are about shoulder width apart. The knees are gonna be bent. The pelvis is level. The ribs are stacked on top of the pelvis, and the shoulders are down and back out of the ears. The head in line with the rest of the body. She's gonna take in a breath through the nose, and then as she exhales, she's gonna press out with both arms, extending the elbows, pausing here, and then inhale as you come back. Now, how far back you come on a chest press is gonna be determined by how good your shoulders feel, okay? If you've got some shoulder discomfort coming further back, you can stop here as the elbows are just in line with the body. But as your strength and mobility improves, your elbows are going to be able to come further back on the press, stretching the muscles of the chest even more. We're gonna pick a weight that you can do for about 20 repetitions for 2 to 4 sets. Okay, the second way I'm gonna show you to do a chest press is with a pair of dumbbells, and you can use a bench, or you can even just lie on the floor to do the dumbbell chest press. So Lindsay's got her dumbbells, and she's gonna lie back on the bench. Now she's got one dumbbell in each hand, and she's got her elbows at about a 45-degree angle. They're not tucked in tight against her side, but they're also not way out here at 90 degrees. So she's got her elbows at a comfortable angle from the body. She's got the abs tight. She's gonna take in a breath at the bottom, exhale, push both hands straight up towards the ceiling, straightening the elbows. Now the hands are directly above the shoulders. The shoulders are down out of the ears. They're not shrugged up by the ears. And then she's gonna breathe in as she lowers the weight back down. And again, how far down you bring your elbows is gonna vary depending on the individual. You wanna make sure you're not moving into pain. So you're gonna lower back down as far as you can comfortably, pause there, and then press back up. And we're using a weight that's light enough that you can do 2 to 4 sets of 10 to 20 repetitions. Okay, the last way I'm gonna show you to do an upper body push or a chest press is gonna be an elevated push-up. Now at home, you can use a countertop or a nice sturdy chair. Lindsay here, we're gonna be using this big box here. So what I'm gonna have Lindsay do is put her hands against the edge of the box. For you at home, it would be your countertop. And then you're gonna walk your feet on back so you can get a straight line from the heel, knee, hip, shoulder, and ear. We've got the abs tight. We've got the shoulders down out of the ears. We've got the chin tucked and the head back. And you're gonna start to bend the elbows and lower yourself slowly towards the countertop. Pause at the bottom and then press back up. As far as the breathing pattern goes, you're gonna inhale on the way down, pause at the bottom, exhale, push up, and pause at the top. Careful on how deep you go. You don't want to move into pain, so more sensitive shoulders won't be able to go quite as low towards the countertop. You're going to repeat this for 10 to 20 reps and do 2 to 4 sets. The next exercise I'm going to teach you is going to build up your biceps, and it's called the hammer curl. I'm going to give you a couple of ways to do it. The first way I'm going to teach you to do a hammer curl is going to be using dumbbells. Now the grip that makes this bicep curl a hammer curl is that your palms are going to be facing toward each other. All right, now Lindsay's standing, she's got her knees soft, pelvis level, abs tight, ribs stacked on top of the pelvis, shoulders are down and back, chin tucked and head back so the head is in line with the rest of the body. Keeping the palms facing each other, she's going to bend her elbows, bring the hands up to the shoulders, squeeze at the top, pause, and then lower slowly. Good. You want to exhale as you're pulling the weight up, and then inhale as you lower the weight. And you're going to repeat for 10 to 20 repetitions and do 2 to 4 sets. Okay, the second way to do your hammer curl, you're going to use a resistance band. So if you don't have dumbbells, you can use your band. The grip is going to be the same with the palms facing each other. You've got one foot standing firmly on the band. Make sure the band is in the center of the foot and that you're not going to be picking up your toes or your heel because you do not want that band coming loose and popping up on you while you're doing your exercise. So we got the foot firmly on the band, grip with the palms facing each other. We're standing tall, level pelvis, abs tight, ribs stacked, shoulders down and back, head in line with the body. And then we're gonna bend the elbows, squeeze at the top, pause, and then lower down slowly. And you're using a light enough band that you can perform 10 to 20 reps, 2 to 4 sets. The next exercise I'm going to teach you is a triceps press for building up the back of the arms and improving your shoulder strength and stability. We're gonna do it with a set of dumbbells. Now I've got Lindsay lying back on a bench here, but you can also do this lying back on the floor with a set of dumbbells. So Lindsay's lying back on the bench. She's got the hands positioned directly above the shoulders, and she's got her shoulders down out of the ears. The abs are tight. Now she's gonna bend at the elbow, bringing the dumbbells back towards her head, and she's gonna stop at about 90 degrees at the elbow and then extend the elbow straight up, squeezing the triceps muscle at the top. We're gonna inhale as you lower the weight, pause there at 90 degrees, exhale, push back up, and this upper arm stays completely still. It's not gonna move back and forth, so that shoulder is staying nice and stable. And we're gonna repeat this for 10 to 20 reps. We're gonna do 2 to 4 sets. The next exercise we're going to teach you is called a reverse fly. There's a couple of different ways we can do this. The first way we're going to teach you is with a resistance band. The reverse fly builds up the back of the shoulders and the upper back and helps improve your posture, which is gonna help improve your shoulder health. So Lindsay's got the band. She can hold it with the palms facing each other. We can go with the palms facing down. We can go with the palms facing up. You're gonna do what feels the best for your shoulders. You wanna stand straight up and down, soft knees, level pelvis, stack the ribs on top, abs are tight, shoulders are down and back out of the ears, and the head is in line with the rest of the body. You're gonna start with your hands straight out at shoulder height, and then with straight arms, stretch the band out to the side until the band touches the chest, and you can squeeze the shoulder blades together and your body forms a T. And then you're gonna slowly bring the hands forward again. We're gonna exhale as you pull apart, squeeze those shoulder blades, and then come back in slowly. We're gonna repeat for 10 to 20 repetitions and do 2 to 4 sets. Okay, the second way to do your reverse fly that we're gonna show you is gonna be with a dumbbell. All right, we're gonna use a light dumbbell. Lindsay is very strong, and we're only gonna use about 5 pounds on this. So don't go too heavy. We're gonna get into the same position that you got in for your low row with the dumbbell. So you've got one knee on the bench. We're gonna have the same side hand on the bench, and that's your post arm. And remember, we want a good strong post arm with the shoulder down out of the ear. We're gonna take the dumbbell in the opposite hand and let the hand hang down directly beneath the shoulder. Keeping that shoulder down out of the ear and keeping the head in line with the rest of the spine. We're gonna pull this arm straight out to the side so it forms a T with the body, and then we're gonna lower slowly. Good. You're gonna exhale as you raise the dumbbell, pause at the top, inhale, come back down. And we're just trying to get up to parallel with the body with that arm. We're not trying to come up any higher than that. Again, you're gonna pick a weight that's light enough that you can perform 10 to 20 reps for 2 to 4 sets. The next exercise I'm going to teach you is called Scapular Activation with weight shifting. Your scapula are your shoulder blades, and we're gonna train them how to move properly for shoulder health. All right, now Lindsay is on all fours here, and we've got the knees directly beneath the hips. We've got the hands directly beneath the shoulders. We've got a straight line from the hip to the shoulder to the ear, so the head is in line with the rest of the body. The head isn't hanging down through the arms. She's got nice strong shoulders, and the shoulders are down out of the ears. Now from here, what I'm gonna have Lindsay do is sink the chest a little bit and squeeze the shoulder blades, and then push away from the floor. Good. Now all this motion should be coming from the shoulder blades. So we're not reaching with the head, and we're also not curving the spine. The spine is gonna stay nice and straight as we squeeze the shoulder blades together and push apart. And you're gonna repeat this for about 10 to 20 reps. After you've done your scapular activation work, we can work on the weight shifting that helps to build up shoulder and core stability. So in this nice, strong shoulder position, straight line from head to tailbone, Lindsay's gonna reach one arm out in front. So as she reaches this arm out in front, the opposite arm is having to support her body weight. So she's staying stable in this opposite shoulder. Bring this hand back down and go to the other side. And so this shoulder is staying strong, and she's not sinking into this arm at all. We're gonna alternate arms 10 to 20 times, 2 to 4 sets. The next exercise we're going to teach is called the lat pullover. The lat pullover strengthens and lengthens your latissimus dorsi, which is really a powerhouse of the upper body. We can do this exercise with a weighted ball or with a dumbbell, and you're gonna be lying on your back on a bench, or you could even do it lying on the floor. I've got Lindsay here lying on a bench holding a medicine ball. She's gonna hold the medicine ball with straight arms directly above her shoulders. All right, now she's gonna take in a breath as she takes the ball back overhead into a comfortable stretch. She's not moving into pain. She's gonna pause at the bottom in the stretch, and then she's gonna exhale and bring the ball back up to even with the shoulders, directly over the shoulders. So we're gonna inhale back, exhale, pull up. And as she goes back with the ball, she's trying not to arch her back really big. She's gonna keep those ribs down and keep those abs tight. And we're gonna repeat this with 10 to 20 reps, 2 to 4 sets. Next, we're going to teach overhead pressing. Now, anything overhead can be kind of scary if you have a history of shoulder pain, but it's important to train overhead movements because we tend to lose this mobility as we age. So we're gonna start with a simple mobility exercise to improve overall shoulder range of motion. So we've got Lindsay with a towel against the wall. Her hands are on the towel. She's standing straight up and down. So she got a straight line from the heel all the way up to the ear, and the abs are tight. Right? She's gonna take in a breath, and on the exhale, she's gonna slide the hands up the wall. As she's sliding up, she's leaning into the wall, but she's making sure not to arch her back or press the hips into the wall. She's keeping that straight line from the heel to the ear, and then she's gonna inhale and bring the hands back down. So this exercise helps to train core stability as you're trying not to arch your back here, but then we're also improving overhead range of motion and stability. And if you can get this exercise without any pain, you can move on to the next overhead movement. This exercise is going to add some muscular activation to support your shoulder blades when you reach overhead. We're going to use a resistance band. You're gonna pull apart on the resistance band to activate the muscles of the upper back when you reach overhead. But posture first, we're gonna stand with the feet shoulder width apart, toes straight ahead. The pelvis is level. The ribs are stacked on top of the pelvis, not flared up. We're holding the band about shoulder width apart. We're gonna pull apart and then take the hands overhead, leading with the thumbs. We're gonna stop when the biceps are in line with the ears, and then bring it back down. As far as the breathing pattern, we're going to inhale at the bottom, exhale on the way up, and that exhale is going to help drive the ribs down, and then breathe in and bring it back down. We're gonna repeat this for 10 to 20 reps, do 2 to 4 sets. This is an exercise to improve your overhead strength that you can use a wooden dowel as resistance to build up that strength overhead. So Lindsay's got the dowel in her hands at shoulder width apart, and she's got an overhand grip on it. Feet are shoulder width, toes straight ahead, level pelvis, stack the ribs, the head is in line with the spine. She's gonna bring the bar up to shoulder height, and this is where we're gonna begin, okay? Now we're going to pull apart on the stick, and that's gonna create some activation through the upper back. Now, drive the stick up overhead on the exhale. Now hold here. Now, as you bring it back down, I want you to push together on the stick. We're gonna push together and compress the stick and bring it back down. Good. And then we're gonna pull apart again, reach the stick up overhead, and then push together and pull back down. Now, the amount of tension that you use when you're pulling apart and pressing together is completely up to you. You want this motion to be totally pain-free. You're gonna do this 10 to 20 times for 2 to 4 sets. This exercise is a true weighted overhead press. Now we're gonna use a dumbbell for this exercise. So Lindsay's gonna start with the dumbbell right here at her shoulder. The stance is the same as everything else. We've got feet shoulder width, pelvis neutral, ribs stacked. She's got the shoulders down out her ears with the head in line with the spine. Now the elbow position is not gonna be way out here to the side, nor is it gonna be straight out in front. We're gonna be out about 45 degrees. And she's gonna take in a breath at the bottom and then exhale and press up. And I like to do this exercise with one arm because it allows for a little natural movement of the rib cage if you need to side bend or rotate a little bit to get the bell up overhead. So we're gonna exhale on the press up, inhale on the way down. We want to make sure that we have no pain as you go overhead. If you're having pain, we need to step back to one of the regressions of this exercise and just work on overhead range of motion. We're going to use a weight that you could press 10 to 20 times, and you're going to do it for 2 to 4 sets. This exercise is called a goblet squat. Now, the goblet squat is primarily a lower body exercise. Now, you may ask, why is there a lower body exercise in my shoulder program? Well, the reason is because by building up your quads, building up your glutes, you're going to have better standing posture. Better standing posture equals better shoulder health. Another thing that makes the goblet a great exercise for the shoulders is where we're going to be holding the weight, which is in the goblet position. So we're going to hold a dumbbell up here under the chin as if you were going to drink from a goblet. That's why they call it the goblet squat. Now we're going to try our best to keep the top of the dumbbell and the bottom of the dumbbell in contact with the sternum throughout the entire exercise. We're going to be standing with the feet shoulder width apart, with the toes turned out slightly but less than 45 degrees. I've got a chair behind Lindsay in case she's not confident that she can stand back up. You may want to do that as well. Now, what I'm going to have her do is reach the hips back towards the chair while keeping a tall chest. Weight is on the heels. We're going to tap the chair and then come back up strong, standing, straight line at the top, straight line from the heel, knee, hip, shoulder, ear, with the abs tight. Now, if you notice that when you sit back towards the chair, that your heels come up off the floor or your feet turn out, there's something you can do for that. We can take a towel and we can roll it up and put it up under your heels, and that's going to make it easier for you to keep your weight in your heels as you squat. You want to make sure that you're not having any pain at the knee or in the low back. All right, we're going to do 10 to 20 reps, and we're going to do it for 2 to 4 sets.